Hey YouTube, Audio Olympian here, back with another video coming to you from Audio Olympia, where the world meets through music, movies, and speakers. Okay, today's video going to be a little bit shorter and quicker than my last few videos, but I brought my Triton references back in the home theater after having my Founder 100s in the home theater setup on my front stage for the past few months. And just really wanted to see if there was going to be a major difference in the sound, being that these speakers are such a spectacular model and cast an immersive sound like none that I've actually heard, even compared to the Tritons. So thought I'd switch them back in there and find out what happened. If this is your first time visiting our channel, we want to welcome you and thanks for stopping by. Go ahead and you know the routine, do all the stuff that you guys need to do. Don't forget you can also follow us on Instagram at Audio Olympian. Okay, so I'm not going to review these speakers as I've already put videos out about these speakers and kind of how I feel about them and the sound that they create for music and for home theater. So I'm just going to kind of talk about the differences that I've found or felt or heard when I switched them back around here. So as most of you know, if you've been following my channel, I've started with the Goldenear line, and I had the Triton references in my front stage setup here. Recently, I just got really intrigued by the new captivating development, design, and research that was done in the Paradigm Founder series, and I picked up a front stage of those. So my 100Fs along with the 90C and the center channel. So you can see the clear difference in height. Now, for those of you guys that maybe watch me on your phone or tablets, whatever it is, I'm only about 5'7", so I'm not very, very tall. So this speaker here, the Triton reference, I believe this is a 54-inch height speaker. This is a big speaker. And this one, not so much. This is about your average height of a tower. I really do like the big speakers, as coming up over 20 plus years and as being an audiophile, cinephile. Of course, you know, starting younger, getting into my 40s now, you don't have as much money in your early years, so you start with a lot of your basics, bookshelf speakers. Then maybe you go to a three-way bookshelf speaker, which is a little bit taller than your average bookshelf. So more classified as a stand mount speaker. And then you get some towers in there. And then you get some bigger towers with bigger drivers. And then you get your center channel and the same thing, right? And it just keeps increasing until you get to your plateau, right? Which I feel I am at now. So good news for you guys out there. Does it ever stop? Do you ever get to a point where you feel like, you know, I'm very satisfied with everything that I have? Yes, it does. So just a little good news for you guys if you feel like, oh, it just never ends. Could I get better sound? Absolutely. But the cost of what I would have to put in to get better sound, a little bit better, right, over what I have now is going to be tremendous. I would have to go into, I believe these right now are just under, or they might be 11,500, somewhere around there. They had a price increase just recently for the Goldenear Triton references. I would have to jump up to a $20,000 pair of speakers just to get some sound that might be a little bit better than this here. And to me, that just, I don't have a desire for that at all whatsoever, right? So I'm very happy where I am. Also, these, which are more less expensive as the Triton references, I believe these are what, 52, 5,300 a pair, somewhere around there, 5,500. These do compete with sound of a speaker that is almost double its price range. So in order to even get better than this, I would have to go into a $15,000, again, probably a $20,000 speaker to get better sound than even the Paradigm here. Again, no desire to do that. That might be something that you want to do, you know, if that's your your want and need that you feel like you need to reach, then by all means, go for it. And please let me know how it sounds. Let me know how it works out. I'd be very interested in that. So did I hear a difference, or did I notice anything different? And did these speakers blend well with the Paradigm center channel when I switched them around? Yes, I did notice a huge difference. One major difference, as you might know, on the Triton references, the Triton line of speakers, almost all of them, they have a powered subwoofer section, which adds just an enormous depth and dynamic to a towered speaker. Plus, it's also a space saver if you don't have a lot of space. These things punch and kick like no other. You do not need a subwoofer with these. However, these do have very good bass as well. Again, if you watch my video on these speakers here, kind of overviewing these, this was my first passive tower speaker that I felt, wow, you really don't need a subwoofer for those. These produce tremendous amount of bass as well. Not the same level of impact as a powered sub, or of the powered section of the Triton reference, because this is kicking out 1800 watts. The Triton 1.R is 1600 watt subwoofer section. This is an 1800 watt versus this just being a passive subwoofer. I mean a passive tower that produces great extension and low end there for your bass. This one does punch you in the chest, for this one you just feel the bass. Now, I knew that was going to be a factor immediately as soon as I switched around. I didn't realize how much of a factor it was going to be though, because basically adding 2 more subs into my room, both of the Triton reference speakers, actually did help smooth out my bass a lot more and better. My front range, or my front stage here, it didn't seem to be as hard hitting like a big crashing wave of bass, where it seemed to be more smooth, like the beginning of a wave of bass, if you can kind of understand what I mean there. The other thing is the height. Of course, this is a lot higher here, but it's not just a higher speaker with all this empty space in here. This actually has 6 drivers in it versus 5 drivers in the Paradigm. Paradigm speakers are bigger in diameter, where these are a little more oblong. I believe these are 6x9s. And then you have, I believe, 5¼ inch mid-range, and then your 1 inch, or your folded ribbon tweeter inside of there, which maybe a 1 inch, maybe 1.5, somewhere around there. Again, sorry guys, I didn't do a lot of research on all the details on this before I started the video. So, more drivers, bigger cabinet, bigger size per square inch, more production of sound. So the Soundstage immediately became bigger, and it kind of felt like it was coming over top of me rather than just straight towards me here. So I noticed that was a big change and a welcomed one. I did like that. It did have more of an immersion feeling versus the Paradigms. Now, do they blend well together? Yes, they blend very well. Keeping in mind that on my center channel here, I am running the Parasound A21 amplifier, and that one's bridged at 750 watts. So the Parasound with the Paradigm speaker is gonna have a little bit of a different tone naturally, because its amplification is being pushed by a different amplifier. And these are different speakers with ribbon tweeters being pushed by a different amplifier. However, it's not different in the sense where you really notice it. They blend they blend together very well. I believe that's why I feel if you have a more high-end speaker, the adaptability of the speakers and the synergy that they can produce, whether you have the same speaker or not, is going to blend well and give you very similar sound no matter what. And I do like that about these. So, because I really do love that center channel. I do feel that the Paradigm 90C center channel did offer me better tonality and range and pitch over the Goldenear reference center channel. So I'm going to stick with that one. And I'm probably going to stick with my Triton references here in the theater for a while here. Again, just the bigger speaker gave me a broader range, broader spectrum, bigger front stage. Again, more immersion, smoothed out my bass a lot more. And I'm just gonna put these back over in my listening area and do some more playing around over there. One thing I have not done with my Paradigm Founders yet is I have not really hooked them up or listened to them in a good listening session to my tube amplifier. So I don't know how well these operate with tube amplification. That's something I want to try here. So the amplifier that I'm going to use for that video is my Bob Carver Crimson 275. It's a 75 watt per channel tube amplifier. Now that amplifier is fantastic in and of itself, and it's got some good design and features to it that your average tube amplifier doesn't have. So I'm looking forward to hooking that up and listening to these and getting some good notes and sounds there with the tube amplification. So that's about all I have here. Again, this wasn't a full-on overview over the speakers, just the difference that I found from moving my Triton references back into the home theater over the Paradigm 100Fs. Bigger speaker, bigger presentation, bigger sound stage, smoother, more bass. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with my Triton references here in the home theater. I do have a couple of clips here right at the end if you want to check those out. Just some Dolby Atmos and Dolby Vision clips, trailers that I have here. One with my Paradigms and then one with my Goldenear here. Again, it's going to be way different with whatever you're listening to or watching it from, even if you got headphones on. You might be able to hear or feel a difference. You may not be able to. I know I certainly did here in my theater room, but it's there if you want to check it out. Other than that, we'll see you on the next video, guys. Thanks for watching.
This is Dolby Atmos, the world's first object-based cinematic audio. With powerful moving audio that transcends from channels to moving around you with pinpoint accuracy. Whether the soundscape sets the mood of a scene,
come on, you guys, let's go.
or captures the full extent
Secret.
of nature's fury. This is Dolby Atmos, the world's first object-based cinematic audio. With powerful moving audio that transcends from channels to moving around you with pinpoint accuracy. Whether the soundscape sets the mood of a scene,
Come on, you guys, let's go.
or captures the full extent
Secret.
of nature's fury.